Here is another overly ambitious TBR. I mean, what's new? We know I like to make crazy reading plans for every month and somewhat stick to them? Not sure. Hello lovely book giants and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Joana and I love to read fantasy. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my May TBR, and with the new releases, with carryover books from April, and the overly ambitious TBR that I made for myself because I'm crazy. But if you're not new here, you already knew that. So I'm gonna start off by talking about the pre-orders that I made, but honestly I never know if these books are gonna come in on time because Book Depository takes forever. Amazon sometimes messes up my orders. So I pre-ordered these books. If they arrive on time to be read in the month of May, I may try to squeeze them in. If not, then they'll be for the month of June. First and foremost, the first book I pre-ordered, and if this one comes in, you bet your sweet bottom that I'm gonna read it ASAP, is The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynn. This is John Gwynn's new series, and this one is actually Viking inspired. I am so excited. If you don't know, John Gwynn is the author of The Faithful and the Fallen, with the first book being Maas. I read The Faithful and the Fallen series in the beginning of the year and I absolutely loved it, one of my new favorites, so I can't wait to get into the new John Gwynn book. The next book I pre-ordered is Son of the Storm, and I don't want to butcher this author's name. I actually want to look it up when I get to it, but I think it's Suyi Davis Okumboa, I think. This book, I keep on forgetting the synopsis, but every time I hear it or read it, I get super excited about it. So I don't know much about it, but as always, I leave every book I talk about in the description of the video because I am someone who likes to go into my books without knowing that much about them, but if you do, you can check out the Goodreads page in the description of this video. But yes, this book is African inspired, I assume. I have heard amazing things. Jessi over at The Bookish Mom has read it and she really liked it, and I take her recommendations pretty seriously, so I'm very excited to read this one. I hope it gets here on time to read it. Next up, I also pre-ordered Malibu Rising by Tara Jenkins Reid, one of my only non-SFF books that I pre-ordered because I love Tara Jenkins Reid. I want to read her new release. This one I think is related to I think it's Daisy Jones and the Six, so I'm not sure. I'm super excited to read it. I don't know anything about it, and that's how I like it with her stuff. I just love Tara Jenkins Reid. And then very quickly, I also pre-ordered War of Dragons by Jessica Cluess. I read House of Dragons last year, really enjoyed it, very surprising YA fantasy, and I pre-ordered this one and hope to get to it when it ever gets here. I still have two carryover books from the month of April that I didn't manage to finish, that I started in April, didn't finish, but definitely want to. One of them I already finished in the month of May, on the 2nd of May. Today's the 3rd when I'm filming this and when you're probably seeing this. So the first book that I had as a carryover was Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I finished it already. I'll talk more about it in my May wrap up, but it was so good to be back in this world. That's all I'm going to say. And the next carryover book that I have from the month of April is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. I was really loving it, but then I hit a week-long slump and I didn't read anything at all. And I had other books that I was rather advanced in, and so I decided to finish all of those up. And I was really in an audiobook mood in the last week of the month of April, and so that's what I did. I listened to a lot of audiobooks and read along with audiobooks, and I don't have the other book for this, which is why I kind of stayed unread, but I'm definitely planning on picking it up and finishing it up in the beginning of the month here. So much so that on the 8th of May, I should be doing a live show on Ali's channel. I will leave her link down below and you can go check out when the live show is going to be. We should be doing it this Saturday on the 8th of May. So actually I need to have read it until then. And yeah, and so now onto my actual May TBR. I'm already 5 minutes in, probably less for you because of editing, but still. I'm not going to go in any particular order for this TBR. I'm just going to go as they stand here. And actually the first book I'm going to mention is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is the conclusion to the Mistborn trilogy, and it is the Cosmere Unbounded monthly pick. We started with the Mistborn trilogy, we're now finishing it off, and I am so excited, guys. It was so hard to not pick this up the second I finished The Well of Ascension. I love these books so much, and I can't wait to conclude the trilogy once again and to establish it as my favorite because I love it so much. Next up, I'm going to be reading something for the Island Challenge, and I'm actually going to be buddy reading this one with Joana and Gregory of at Gregory the Perch, and I will leave also their channels linked down below. And that is going to be Guards by Sir Terry Pratchett. I'm so excited to start and the Discworld books, to step into the Discworld books. I'm super excited, guys. This is like so exciting. I don't know anything. I just know that they're funny and a little bit quirky, and it's not too long, and it's about dragons. I mean, what do you want more? Yeah, I don't know anything about it except that But I'm so excited to read this, and then we're going to be discussing it also in a live show with Gregory and Joana. We don't have a date yet, but I think Gregory is going to announce it on his Discord and on his channel, so you can see it over there. But I'm excited to read this with them and discuss it with them. Discworld, wow, I can't wait. This is also for the Allen Challenge. If you don't know what the Allen Challenge is, it is a challenge that Ryan over at Seeking Stories created. I will leave his announcement video linked down below. I already did part 1, which was my Senlin vlog, where we read some of Alan's favorite books. Alan over at the Library of Alexandria. If you don't know, I will also leave his channel linked down below because he's awesome as well. And yeah, so I'm going to be reading this. Super excited. Next up, I'm going to also be buddy reading. Oh, this, you see where the problem comes in. Buddy reads. I'm going to be buddy reading Jade War by Fonda with a bunch of people over on the Shelf Space Discord. Abby is actually hosting the buddy read for this. I read Jade City last month in the month of April and I loved it, and so I cannot wait to continue on with Jade War and be caught up with the series and then patiently wait for Fonda to publish Jade Legacy. The first book, Jade City, is about this magical island where the magic comes from the stone jade. And then if you are a Jade user, you can use it to strengthen your abilities and be stronger, etc. And there's like 2 clans warring. It's just so good. It's so good. And yeah, I loved it and I can't wait to continue on with the sequel. Another theme for this month that you will be able to tell is that I'm trying to catch up with series or complete series, which makes me so happy because the next book on this TBR is The Hot King by Josiah Bancroft. I read Sand and Ascends and Armor of the Sphinx in the month of April. Spoiler alert, I love both of them so much. I cannot wait to get to The Hot King, which apparently is incredible. We had the Sandlin live show over on Kate's channel at the Literary Apothecary. I will leave the live show link down below so you can check it out. And Alan kept on saying that The Hot King is amazing and I cannot wait to read this and to be caught up and then wait for The Fall of Babel with everyone else. These books are so fun. They're not for everyone. I will leave my Sandlin review up here so you can check it out to see if it is something that you would like to pick up. I know they're not for everyone, but I love them and I cannot wait to get to the 3rd book. Guys. The next book is... Okay, listen. In my spring TBR, which I will leave up here, I said I wanted to read The Empire of Gold by S.H. Chakraborty, and I wasn't going to reread the first 2 books. I was just going to jump into the 3rd book and leave it at that. So then I was watching Vish and Ali's TBRs for the month of May. I will leave their channels linked down below again. And they are both going to read City of Brass because on Vish's Discord, we are going to be buddy reading City of Brass and Kingdom of Copper and The Empire of Gold. And I thought, okay, you know what? You're just gonna reread these. Yes, they're a bit big. And yes, I'm gonna count if I read this and I don't get to The Empire of Gold by the end of June for some reason. I will count this as my okay for the spring TBR. But yeah, I'm just going to be rereading City of Brass, maybe Kingdom of Copper. I'm going to listen to the audiobooks of these, which is also what I did the first time. I listened along as I read, and I love that experience because the narrator is awesome. So I'm going to be doing this. Thank you so much for the peer pressure, girls. I love you, and you're making my life better because I love these books, and I'm excited to reread them and get back into this world that I love so much with these characters that I love so much. City of Brass is about a girl named Nari, and she's a con woman, and she pretends to have magical abilities to heal people, and then she sends them to her friend to buy some medicine, and so that they kind of enrich each other that way. And until one day she actually summons a djinn and she discovers she actually has magical abilities, and she gets taken to the city of Devabad where things ensue, and it is so fun, so good, so I don't know, I just like atmospheric. I love these books so much and I can't wait to reread them and finally finish the trilogy. Yay! Next up is a book that I planned to read in the month of April, but I didn't get to, but I will get to it in this month, in the month of May, and that is The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. I still am super excited for this. I think it's also my spring TBR, and I can't wait. This is about books where the books that aren't finished go to this Library of the Unwritten, but then characters can come back to life, and then one of the characters comes back and goes to meet with his author, something like that, and our librarian has to stop it from happening. I don't know much about it. I just know that my friend Abby really likes it, and I want to read it, and that's why it's on this TBR. Another book that I meant to get to in the month of April, but I didn't, and I really want to get to in the month of May, is A Space Between Worlds. I'm definitely going to be reading this. This is a sci-fi parallel universe, if I'm not mistaken, story, and I love that kind of stuff. I don't know much about it because I want to keep it that way. I want to get surprised when I read it. The book is not very long, and I'm so excited to get to it, and I hope to get to it very soon, actually very early on in the month of May. Continuing with continuing series, after I finish The Ninth Reign, I'm going to be reading The Bitter Twins by Jen Williams. This is also a buddy read over on Discord. A bunch of us that read The Ninth Reign and really loved it want to continue on with the series, as you should, because otherwise these stay unread for a while, as we know, and I can't wait to get to this. Like, guys, dragons. It's also the month of dragons, I feel like, because there's a lot of books with dragons on. Like, I read Queen of Shadows, this, Guards, yeah, a lot of stuff with dragons, Shadow of the Gods. So Dragon Month, Body Reading Month, month of continuing series. We love it. I can't wait to get to this. So yeah, very excited to body read this with my friends and then also finish the series out, hopefully in June. It's gonna be phenomenal. And then finally, because that wasn't crazy enough or, you know, ambitious enough, I have this project idea with my wonderful, lovely friend Sophia over at Sophia's Thoughts. I will leave her channel, you know the drill. We decided, hey, wouldn't it be fun to revisit the Hunger Games trilogy and buddy read it and watch the movies together and make vlogs about it. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing in the month of May. We're going to be reading The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. And I haven't reread these since I first read them, so like 10 years ago. These are the books that got me back into reading. We'll see if they still hold up, if I still love them as much, but yeah, I can't wait to reread The Hunger Games, watch the movies, and vlog it for you, and have it as like a, how do I feel about it now, 10 years later, because I owe these books so much. I owe these books all of this, because they're what got me back into reading, so we'll see. I wanted to finish up by saying that I'm participating in the May the Force Read With You readathon, which you may have seen in the title of this video. I will leave the announcement down below. It is hosted by a bunch of booktubers, but the one I know is Break Even Books, if I'm not mistaken, and it is a Star Wars themed readathon. And I was looking at the prompts, and I really wanted to do the dark side prompt because I felt like a lot of people that I've seen participate are doing the light side, so I thought, gotta balance it out, right? But the books that I'm reading fit the light side very well. So I'm gonna be doing the light side prompts, and I will tell you now from all the books that I'm reading which ones I plan to read for which prompt. The first prompt is Jedi Council, which is to read a sequel or a book in a series. So honestly, I could pick anything for this because I'm reading so many books in series. But tentatively, I'm gonna say The Hunger Games. This is the first book in a series. I can also count Catching Fire, or Mockingjay, doesn't matter. I'm just gonna say one of the Hunger Games books. Prompt number 2 is Force Spirit, a book with paranormal elements. And for this, I'm gonna pick The Bitter Twins because I'm not enough into the Ninth Reign to know, but I think it has paranormal elements, and so I'm gonna count The Bitter Twins for this. Prompt number 3 is Healing, and this is to just read a book in your favorite genre. I have everything here in my favorite genre almost. I'm gonna do The City of Brass or any of the other fantasy books because it is my favorite genre. Problem number 4 is Knowledge, a TBR vet. I picked a TBR vet amongst the books that I was already planning on reading, and that is The Library of the Unwritten. I've owned this for over a year now, and I actually started it once, and then I wasn't in the mood for it, so I put it down, and now it is time to read it, so I'm gonna be picking this one. And problem number 5 is Cleanse, pick a book with a white cover. I'm picking The Hero of Ages for this because it has a little bit of blue, but it's mostly white, so I'm counting it. And then for the allies that you can get alongside it, you have 2. You can do Rebel Alliance or Resistance. I am gonna try and do both, but I don't know what I would read for the Resistance prompt. But for the Rebel Alliance prompt, it is to read a book with a rebellion. What better book than Catching Fire and Mockingjay to read with a rebellion? So I'm gonna do this. And for Resistance, it is to read a book from your least favorite genre, and I don't really have a least favorite genre. There are genres that I don't want to read, but I don't want to read them. So maybe I could read romance books because I don't read a lot of romance. I'm warming up to the idea of romance. But it is not my favorite genre, so maybe I will go with that, but I don't know yet. But these are the books that I'm planning to fit into the May the Force Read With You readathon. I'm super excited. I love Star Wars. I love reading. It's perfect. So there you go, guys. That concludes my overly ambitious TBR. I don't even know how many pages this is. I don't even know how I'm supposed to do this with all the carryover books, the pre-orders, all of this. This is insane. I probably will never finish all of these books. Let's be real, I won't finish all of these books. I would like to though. So we'll see how I do. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these, what you thought of them. And let me know what is your #1 book that you want to read next month. And if you're participating in the May the Force Read With You readathon. Are you participating and what side are you going for? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're doing well. And until next time, happy reading. Bye guys.